Hi, today I got some really fun projects. I'm going to continue my project with the deer protection that I started not too long ago. I have some improvements on the design since the last couple designs haven't been too successful. So I want to improve on that last one that I was able to get into the ground, but I noticed some issues a few days later. So I'm going to go over that. I also have some winter prep since tomorrow I'm expecting some large snow to come in, and I got some concerns about getting to and from work. So I do have to work tomorrow. I can't just call out. Therefore, I'm going to go and show at least what I do to prep since I have a very long commute into work. And then lastly, I just got some fun. I got this big old steel bar here, and it's got this nice angle on it. I'm going to see if I can cut that down and just cut it off into two separate bars. I don't have a direct purpose for this yet, but I figured it would be good for slow motion. So, alright, so there we go. That's what's on today on Backyard Garage. It's already spread. It's going to be a couple things, so practically on. You can actually see that I got this steel bar, and like I said, I got this angle on it. I don't need that angle. This is big, bulky, and hard to store. I don't have any immediate use for this, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut right here on this bar, and I'm gonna do that with this angle grinder. So before I do anything further with that, a couple safety bits, safety glasses. Although I think, give me a second here. Due to the amount of sparks flying, I'm going to use these instead. And then, safety gloves. This way, I want to use leather because the leather will not burn or melt, whereas some of my mechanics gloves or some of these will either melt or burn or who knows what else. In other words, it's just not going to be good for my hands to protect my hands. And you definitely want to have something to protect your hands because this will probably get pretty hot. So, without further ado, let's get started and see how this looks. Almost through. By the way, when I'm going and doing the cutting, I'm not letting it sit on any one area. I don't know if you can notice, but I've been going across this area that I'm trying to cut. This way, I'm not getting into any ruts that will be hard for me to cut later on or to keep it from jerking back at me. So the key here is just to keep it nice and consistent and go across the whole area as much as possible throughout the entire cut. Getting really close to the end here. Obviously this is a pretty big piece. This is why I'm using the angle grinder, because if I didn't use the angle grinder here and using something like a Sawzall, I'll probably go through about 20, 30, 40 blades, or if I'm with a handsaw, that would take forever. So this is probably the best tool that I have to be able to do this job. there you go. That took a while. Alright, on to the next project for today. Alright, so here we are with my deer protection contraption. As you can see here, it's kind of collapsing on the tree. So, I don't really like this. What I'm planning on doing is taking those garden stands I had in the first prototype. I'm going to take the rings off and I'm going to put them on the inside of here so this has some support so that it doesn't suffocate the tree. So far it seems to be doing a really good job against the deer, but it's not doing a good job against protecting the tree from, well, the protection. So that's going to be the plan. So let's go back to the workshop so we can go and work out the details on how to do that. Alright, what do you see here? I got one of the garden stands and I have it in my vice grip. And I found one that has a couple of these connections taken off, or at least one of them was, and kind of worked out the other one, and I'm going to do the same thing that on this connector here. Now these look like they were spot welded on. I don't have a welder, I don't have anything like that, and this is kind of fairly strong. So it's not going to be easy to kind of pop this off. So I'm going to apply a little bit of heat to it and see if I can work that off. The idea here is that I'm heating up the weld. This hopefully will soften the metals, make it easier to work with. And I just want to get so that they are close to red hot. And you can start seeing that temperature change. Let's see if I can just kind of work that out. I might have a tool that would work better for this. Well, I think I might have a better solution, and that's using my Dremel. I love this little tool, but as always, make sure you have safety protection or eye protection on. I'm going to see if this works any better. So what I'm aiming for is cutting right along that seam. See if this does any better than the torch I previously used. There we go. And I'll say that I think that is going to be a little bit better tool for this. There's a few really sharp ends here left over from the Dremel right here. So I'm just going to take my file, just file it down so that it's smooth, so I don't cut myself in the process of applying this. Sounds like this is going to be a product that's going to be well used. However, like I said, I don't want to cut myself in trying to apply this on. Okay. There we go. So that's perfect. That's ideal. That's exactly what I'm looking for, is that circular shape, because this is going to go across the top. Now I got a couple ideas about how I'm going to attach this. Let's go back out to the tree and see what works best. All right, so here we are. I'm going to take that part off. And got my circular ring here. See, that's going to very nicely spread it out. And what I'm planning on doing is I got my Arrow T25, and I'm just going to staple it on just like so. This makes installation a breeze. Alright, let's go to plan B, because the staples aren't holding in because it doesn't have enough depth to hold the ring in place, so I'm going to go with plan B. Alright, I'm back, and we're going to do plan B, just using the Venable zip tie. So it's going to zip tie it on like that. I think the biggest thing to take away from this project, or really any of these projects, is that you're not going to get it done right the first time. The thing is, you got to keep working and keep developing and work your way through the problems. Think of them as only as merely obstacles, things that get in the way of the answer to the problem at hand. Alright, I'm going to fold that over. Staple that in. Now, obviously, because of the way that I have the covering here, I got to continue to watch this to make sure that as the tree grows, that it's not going to be inhibited by this. But currently, because of the smaller size of this tree, I just want to go and give it a chance and not have anything go and try to poke its head into it. So that's where the bag's going to help protect it, and later on as it grows taller, I might have to replace this with a larger one or just simply remove it. But right now, because it's a sapling, the deer love the new growth, and since there's not much growth on these trees to begin with, that means that they're going to eat it down to nothing. Alright, so the last item for today is basically anything that I need for getting through the winter. And this is stuff I'm going to be, well, I'm prepping for tomorrow for the 24 to 36 inches that I am expecting to get in my area. That being said, this is not something that I totally out of the normal keep in my car, but I just want to double check my equipment before I need it tomorrow, if I'm even going to need it. My biggest plan is to not actually get into the situation that I need it. Alright, that being said, I always keep a extra quart of oil in my vehicle. This is a year-long type thing, so you never know when you need a little bit extra oil. You should check it on a regular basis. I had to learn the hard way, end up having an engine swap in my Jeep because of that. So this is definitely something you want to check on a regular basis. I also have my winching bag, which includes the control mechanism for my winch, along with a couple straps, and I also keep a PSI measurement for my tire pressure gauge. This is good for during the winter because let's say it's really deep snow and I'm not getting enough traction under normal pressures for the tire. If I go and I put it down to 20 or 15 psi, which is really low on a normal basis, this would actually get me out of trouble. And you can go a lot further and keep it from slipping on the road. Just a general vehicle, not even a Jeep, but just a regular vehicle, you can go a lot smoother through snow, ice, or any other terrain just by deflating those tires well below normal. You may want to check, most cars I would say are about 20 psi, unless you got something that would keep that tire inside of the rim so it doesn't pop out, because the lower the psi, the greater chance that that's going to happen. So this is good to have. This is also year-round type item because year-round you're going to need to check your tire pressure. Low tire pressure will definitely take off on the miles. But that goes into my winching bag. I'm going to put that over here. So I'm going to put that right in the Jeep. I think this goes without saying. You're going to need one of these just to get things started for the day. First aid kit. I think this is an entire different episode, but I keep a lot of emergency materials in here. So, like I said, this is another episode altogether. But do take note, I do have a rescue blanket right in the front here in case you get stranded. This is a daily item that I carry around every day because you never know when you're going to need a first aid kit. I think having a first aid kit and getting proper first aid CPR trained is critical for everyone to know. Just because you don't know when you're going to be in that situation. Yes, we have some excellent medical personnel and fire rescue personnel out there. I definitely want them to have them around. And thank you to anyone that either volunteer or that's your full-time job, fire and rescue, because we definitely need you. But they can't be around all the time, and especially in weather like I'm anticipating tomorrow, it's going to be hard for them to get around. And if you're stuck in your car, and let's say there's an accident situation where you need to have a first aid kit and be able to treat yourself before you can get professional medical personnel to you. So here you are, first aid kit. So an extra sweatshirt, keep this on hand. This is good in case what you have with you is not going to be warm enough. So an extended stay inside your vehicle. So let's say you got caught in a snow drift on the side of the road. You're buried in that snow. You're not going to get out anytime soon. That's where having an extra sweatshirt or extra clothes on hand is going to make the difference. I also keep an extra pair of boots. I'm planning on going in with some hiking boots on tomorrow, but I just got some extra tall boots, so for deeper snow, this extra height here is probably going to make a big difference and keep my feet dry. That brings me to this little case in here because an extra pair of socks. Again, extra clothing helps. By the way, this is just a bucket I keep a lot of my extra supplies in, that I also keep in my vehicle. I got a sleeping bag, and also in here I have a bitty sack. This is not winter weight, I know that, but this will help. And this is what I have, and this goes in my little pack here. So this will get you through quite a bit. I also have an extra pair of gloves. I got some extra cloth here. This is good if you need to make an improvised bandage. This will keep you from getting bleeding out. Some duct tape. I think duct tape goes without saying. I got an MRE. These are great. I love these. I usually keep a couple of these in my vehicle. This can make a difference. You know, if you're stuck there for a day on the side of the road, having an extra meal just in your vehicle is going to make that difference between having calories and not having any calories. I also have a nice lightweight, this is a little fuel canister, and this is basically a little stove. So it got some source of heat if you need it. Or to cook, I can cook that MRE, get it nice and warm. To do that, some kind of container. So I keep a container in here. I think I got some other goodies in here. This is like one of those, it's a Coleman container. Alright, here we go. So I have matches. I got some coffee, a little cup, an ultralight stove, which has some fuel in it. And I got several helpings in Ziploc bags of oatmeal. So I got the MRE, oatmeal, coffee. In this case, all I need is water. So if I have tons of snow, I can melt down the snow using the fuel that I have in the stove. I'm not going to use it as a first resort, but I do have that as an option. Got another camping heat, so this is good for emergency. This is also good just for heat. Like if I'm going to be stuck in that back of the Jeep, I may want to have a little extra heat. So maybe this will make a difference between me freezing and not. I got other goodies in here. I'm not going to show them all today because I'm going to save this for another day to go into more in depth. I like to make sure that I'm prepared for most situations. And that's where I keep a couple of these. Got a couple totes and other items that I carry. Here's my snow bag. In here I keep all the gear that I'll need to get me in and out of trouble. So first off, I got a snow shovel. This is a nice car size one because, as you can see here, it's compact. And it's got a nice plow design, so you can go in there, scoop out. This is perfect for for a car. This is something new. I haven't really tried this yet, but this is some snow tracks. The idea here, you can either link them together, or you can go, oh, that's how they go in. Or you can use them individually. I got 4 of these to go per wheel. You basically put this down, so if you're really in a slippery area, you're stuck, put this down in front of the wheel travels on top of this. It's got tracks, little pegs on both sides, basically you get grip for the tire, and this should keep it from slipping on the snow or ice. Got 4 of them, got them off of Amazon, not terribly expensive. I'm going to try them out. If this works, I might get several more so I can keep them in both vehicles that I own. And, you know, they're not, like I said, they're not terribly expensive. This might get me out of a sticky situation. I got a wool blanket. This nice thing about wool is that even if it's wet, it will retain about 80% of your warmth. So in a survival situation, this is invaluable. So I'm keeping this in my winter bag, my winter specific equipment to get me through there. Now this, I have not yet really had to use it. I hope I never have to. I got some ski poles, and these are snowshoes. I'm just going to take one out. But basically I can attach this to the bottom, so if I need to hike out in deep snow, and with 36 inches I think that would warrant the use for snowshoes. So again, hopefully I don't have to hike out of my vehicle and abandon it on the side of the road or something, but I travel about 38 miles to and from work every day. So I think this is something that would be appropriate for my situation. You have to do the evaluation if that's something that you would want to have on your snow equipment list, but considering that I got the trunk space, and this could be a potential lifesaver for me in the event that I'm stuck and I really can't get out, and I haven't been able to get out for a couple days. That right there is going to help save me. So, I almost forgot. Another item, so I'm going to carry my ham radio. In my Jeep, I keep also a CB radio. So, I'm going to have both of those radios on hand. Both of those are means for me to be able to go and communicate out in case of emergency. I can't always count on cell phones. What if the cell towers went out? Well, that's where a ham radio might be able to help out. I also keep on my person usually a GPS so I can give coordinates out about where I am. So if I can't see the roads or road signs, or I can't really describe it, I have some way to specifically locate where I am at and be able to communicate out to some external help. In times where there's inclement weather, usually there's quite a few people that are on the ham radio networks. So I should be able to communicate out in emergency situations. Obviously, my first choice will be to use a cell phone, but this is just in case. And last but not least, in my snow-specific kit, I have some ski masks. This is really, really awesome during the winter, because when you get that snow and it's like a blizzard condition, this is what's going to make the difference. Alright, so wish me luck tomorrow. I'm probably going to go and have the camera with me, and I'm probably going to get some footage of at least me driving through the snow. It's probably going to be on the way back home, but if it's really bad, I'll probably do an update video. Alright, so that's it for today on Backyard Garage.